Unless the Lord builds a house, it will never become a home. A home is where people work together. You can have a broken home and a home that's broken. A broken home is when you split. A home that's broken is when you stay together but it's still messed up. And so some people have a broken home. They go their separate ways. And some people have a home that's broken. They're still together, but it's in pieces. And so, but unless God builds a house, it will never become a home. So how do we make a house a home? One of the things that God told Adam, I'll make you a helpmeet, because Adam was lonely. And he didn't have anyone to talk to. Only the animals. That's all. He wasn't Dr. Doolittle. They didn't talk back. So only the animals. And so God made him a helpmeet to talk to. Do you know that God created Eve so man wouldn't be lonely? Not alone, but lonely. There's a difference. And as a marriage counselor, so many spouses would tell me, men and women, Pastor, I am lonely. I am lonely. Usually when you find somebody who's angry in the home, sad in the home, depressed in the home, it's a result of being lonely. And God don't want us to be lonely. That is, no one to talk to. And that happens so often. So family is to make sure that nobody is lonely. You don't want a kid that's lonely. You don't want a spouse that's lonely. That is, nobody to talk to. They'll find somebody. And so as a family then, we want to do, let me share with you 4 ways that you can make your family a home. Who wants to make their family a home where it is just working together? The White House right now is not a family. It's a mess. You know, but who wants a home where there's a house? You can have a beautiful house, but an ugly home. Man, the yard is manicured, the painting is good, the chandelier, everything is beautiful on the outside, but you're going inside in some mess. Yeah. Unless the Lord builds your house, it would never become a home. We all want a beautiful home. A house is fine, but we all want a beautiful home. That's better. And so the first thing you need to do, everybody say number 1. Let's just pray. First of all, look at the person next to you. Say, I see you. Yeah, everybody needs to be seen. Look at them again. Say, I see you. That old African, in the country in Africa, people say that. They don't say, how you doing, hello, good morning. They say, I see you. Yeah. If you aren't seen by anybody, you're invisible. So you want to be seen by people. Okay. As I always say about Andy Griffith, who watches the Andy Griffith show? I know there had to be black people in the South during that time. I didn't see him, though. So, anyway, I see you. Invisible Man. You know that book. James Baldwin. Okay, number 1. How to make your house a home. By making sure each family member gets the full attention that they deserve. Everybody has to get attention. Everybody's important. Everybody's worth something. If you have a flower and you don't nourish it, it will die. I don't care how beautiful the rose is. If you don't take care of it and give it attention, it will die. So everybody, the Bible says this about you and me and everybody who is a human being. You were made, all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. You are special and you need attention. So if you want to really turn your house into a home, make sure you give your spouse, your children, your parents the attention that they deserve. We all need it. We all need to be seen by somebody. Isolation will run you crazy. If you have a child, you got to give him attention, or he'll dry up and go someplace else. If you have a spouse, you got to give him attention, or they'll dry up and go someplace else. So if you want to make your family home, make sure you I see you. Good morning. Hello, I see you. Attention. It's very important. The Bible says this, so God created mankind in his own image, female and males. I heard this story one time where this doctor came to the waiting room where this family was waiting to hear about their loved one, and the doctor said to the loved ones, I got pretty bad news. Your loved one needs a brain transplant. And the family was devastated, of course, and they just didn't know what to do. And of course, they was concerned about, and so they asked, how much is the brain transplant? How much does it cost? And the doctor said, well, we got two prices. See, the female brain costs $20,000, but the male brain costs $50,000. And the men sort of laughed, and the women didn't like that attitude. And then this little 14-year-old girl stood up and said, well, why is a female brain cheaper than a male's brain? And the doctor said, because a female brain is used. Think about it. Think about it. Anyway, so you got to give everybody attention, no matter who they are. The Bible says this: you can have two kids in your house the same. You got to give them attention. May our sons flourish in the youth like well-nurtured plants, and may our daughters like graceful pillars. Every child is different, but every child needs attention. You don't ever say to your child, well, he can play by himself. We don't need to do it. He needs attention. He needs to know he exists. She needs to know he exists. Wives need to know they exist. Children need to know they exist. You got to say, I see you every day. If you don't give them that attention they deserve, then there will be problems, and eventually they will pull back from the home. Pull back. So give everybody in your home full attention. The Bible says this: for God may speak in one way or another, dreams and visions. It may be difficult to understand. So it is with people. We're just different, but we all need attention. You can say, I'm an introvert, I don't want to be bothered, but you still need attention. You need for somebody to say to you, I'm okay. So if you want to make your family a home, let your family know, let your loved ones know that they're important. Give them the attention that they need. Speak to them. Say to them. Parents need attention. Kids need attention. Spouses need attention. Everyone needs attention. Number two. If you want to turn your house into a home, the Bible says this: be willing to change. You don't know what lies ahead. In other words, if you want to turn your house into a home, by adjusting your behavior as a family member changes with time. As your family member changes, you adjust your behavior to fit their change. Your child is 3 years of age. When he becomes 16, you have to change. You don't still treat him as he's 3. If your spouse, when you married them, were sort of meek and mild, but now they're standing up for themselves, you change to adjust to their behavior. It could be physical. First lady tells me all the time, she said, you don't hear as well as you used to when the TV is on. I said, well, turn up the volume. You adjust to my lack of hearing. Yeah. Some people have parents in the rest home, and they have to go to the rest home because of illness. Well, you change your schedule to meet their schedule. And so when we have couples in the home and there's a change, then you have to learn, you got to be flexible. You are the one who has to adjust. Don't ask your family member to change for you. You change for your family member to make it a home. The Bible says this: when I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childhood's things. So you got to change. I never forget Mr. Tilley. Some of you know him. He died a few years ago. His wife died a few months after he died. No, a few months before or after. Before he died. But anyway, he would come to church every Sunday morning, but he would have to leave early because she was sick, bedridden at home, and she couldn't get out. So he adjusted his schedule to accommodate her. If you have a family member who is changing for whatever reason, as long as it's something, if it's really crazy, then of course you don't do that. But something within the limits. They just have a different way of doing things, or they don't walk as fast anymore, if you're the cook in the house and they don't like certain foods anymore, well, learn how to cook something else. Don't say, you cook it now. No. You change for them. Yeah. Who said you cook it now? Yeah. I don't like salt anymore. I want bacon on everything. And don't be saying, well, if you don't like the way I cook, no, you change. Learn to cook something different. Want to keep it in your home. Yeah. Couples mature. So you got to adjust. Look what Pastor Paul said. This wasn't about family, but look what he says. I know how to live on almost nothing or on everything. I have learned to adjust. And so if you want to have peace in your home, and you want to have a house that's a home, learn to adjust your behavior, as long as it's not crazy. And if your kids, as they grow up, that's why kids tell parents so often. How many kids have told their parents, Mom, I'm not a child no more? Yeah, well, they're not. So talk to them like they're a 13-year-old, not like a 4-year-old. Adjust. Yeah. But kids, you have to adjust too. Your mom is not your dad is not your brother. He's your parent. Yeah. And when parents grow older, they become more parent-like. And so when you were younger, they might have said, hey, just hang out together. And you got older, they start acting like your grandparents. So you have to adjust too. So adjust to behavior. And then you have to pray. This is the prayer. May God, who gives patience and encouragement, help you live in complete. You got to pray for patience. And so you have give attention when it's important. It's important to give attention. It's important to give attention. How many you got smartphones in here, or cell phones? Do you know how many times an average person touches this phone a day? This is attention now. 2,364 times a day a person touches their cell phone. Can you imagine that? How many times do you speak to your spouse a day? Yeah. Who are you in love with? Good. Did you hold it like this? And if you lose it, where's my phone? Your spouse could be gone for hours. You don't even look around. Hey, don't even ask the question. But you lose this phone for 3 seconds. You'd be all over the house. So, anyway, number 3. Somebody say number 3. The third thing you do then is by encouraging yourself, and listen to how I phrase that, by encouraging yourself to be aggressive with affection. Everybody's just not in the aggressive mood to show affection. I never forget this. I talked to this guy and teenage son one time. This is devastating, but I never forget it. at the end of the counseling session, they were having some problems. This older teenage kid and his parent. And I said to the parent, I said, give your child a hug now, because that's what he needs. And the parent said to me, and I never forget these words, the parent said, I can't do that. He didn't say I didn't want to do that. He said, I can't do that. It just wasn't in him, he thought. Some people have a problem of showing affection, especially upset or something, but some people but you have to encourage yourself. We talked about the miracle hug. Hugging is important. So you got to be aggressive in your affection. You got to let them know that they are loved. They asked a little boy one time, they were having the kindergarten, they say, what is love? And how do we describe love? And little kindergarten boy said, I don't know about that, but I know it's like Sprite. And the teacher said, love is like Sprite? He said, yeah. Why is that? Because it gives you a tingle. Anybody need a tingle? Everybody needs a tingle. Love gives you a tingle. When you kiss your grandchild at night, he tingles. When you hug your spouse, it's a tingle. Everybody needs a tingle. So you got to show yourself. Give them a tingle. Touch your mom right there. Touch your mom, baby. She just tingle. Right. It's just the way it is. And sometimes you don't do it, but it happens that way. You got to force yourself to show affection. It's not always easy because some people are not reared in cultures where they are affectionate. But if you want to, the brain is made up of 4 quadrants, four side brain, left side, right side brain, lower right, lower left, and all that. The part of the brain that gets addicted to drugs, when you take cocaine or you're addicted to alcohol or you're addicted to heroin or some other drug or some opioid, when you're addicted, that part of the brain, the left center part, is the one that operates and gets addicted. Well, that same part of the brain that gets addicted to drugs is the same part of the brain that enjoys affection. So that person takes drugs, and he gets hooked to drugs because he's trying to satisfy that part of the brain that loves affection. So if you were able to substitute the drugs for love, then that person wouldn't need drugs. He becomes in love, or she becomes in love with the drug because it's giving them affection. The best high I can get, boy, when I take that needle in my arm, or I snort that nose, or smoke that, it gives me such a feeling. You could substitute that with love. If you hug that person, that part of the brain will be satisfied. And so we need to start showing affection. And so when someone comes to church on Sunday morning and you're not affectionate, who here is an introvert? You just don't reach out and touch people. You just don't do that. That's not you. It's just not you. And we have people like that. When someone comes to church on Sunday morning, because we're family, you should be the one who goes out and speak to that person, hugs that person. We have guests. Somebody stands and says, I'm a guest. Everybody in the church should speak to the guests before they leave. Well, Pastor, I'm just not a speaker. Well, you have to force yourself. If you want your church to become a family, you want your home to become a family. And so when you don't feel like speaking, speak anyway. When you don't feel like talking, talk anyway. When you don't feel like hugging, hug anyway. Because that part of the brain needs affection. And so if you want your house to be a home, everybody needs a tingle. Everybody needs a tingle. And in fact, you can ask your spouse when you get home, you want a Sprite today? Or ask your children, you want a Sprite today? Anyway, Moses, when he was dying, Moses, the great leader of the Old Testament, he wanted to go to the promised land. In fact, he asked God many times. He said, God, for 40 years I've led your children. I want to go to the promised land. God said, no, I'm not going to let you go. And Moses said, God, please let me go to the promised land. This is in the book of Deuteronomy. And God said, no, I'm not going to let you go to the promised land. I just told you that. And then one time Moses asked him, and God said, don't ask me anymore, Moses. You're not going to the promised land. But what God did when Moses died, the Bible said God wrapped Moses in his arm and gave him the kiss of death. Translation, gave him a goodnight kiss. Every kid, every parent, every spouse needs a goodnight kiss. Show them affection. It's amazing when your kid is sleeping at night. Kiss them goodnight. They may be asleep, but their brain processes it. When your spouse is getting ready to go to sleep, and of course you're angry with him. Kiss him anyway. Lay it on him. He will get a tingle. He will get a tingle. That's where our brain works. And so every child needs something. And you can read it here. I won't read it all. Each youth are tired and weary. Young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Everybody needs affection, no matter who they are. Don't ever think that somebody doesn't need affection. As a marriage counselor, I always tell spouses, before your husband goes to work or before your wife goes to work, you give them the biggest love you can. Give them affection, you know. This is what a man wants to hear. My dear lover, you glow with health, red-blooded, radiant. You're one in a million. There is no man like you. Your black curly hair, your eyes are like dove, soft and bright, burning with meaning. Your face is rugged. Your beard smells like sage. Your voice, your words, warm and reassuring. Fine muscles ripple beneath your skin. Your torso is like the work of a sculptor. You're tall like cedar. See, men love to hear things. Ladies, all you got to do is tell a man how great he is and you got him. That's all you got to do. Men are gullible. All you have to do is, now, just tell them how great they are, and that's the affection. All you got to say, you're the one. Your words are like kisses. Everything about you delights me, thrills me through and through. That's my man. That's my. And so, but women are different. Women, good, you got to tell them, but they want more than tell. They want show and tell. Women need to be shown. You can say, I love you, baby. Well, where's the ring? Women needs to be see it. I love you, baby. Happy birthday. Where's the gift? And so, guys, you got to not just tell women, you got to show women. And so, this is what a woman says. I sit in his delightful shade and taste his delicious fruit. He escorts me to the bank wall. They want action. A man all you got to tell him, it's so messed up because they whisper. All you got to whisper in a man is and say to a man, you are the greatest man in the world. You got him for days. But a woman you got to show. And so, but you got to show affection. And for kids, the same way. You got to show them that they are worth something. It is important to kids. That's why parents, if you got teenage kids, let them know they are important. If not, somebody else would tell them they're important. And that somebody may be somebody you can't trust. Yeah. You cannot. The other day I heard a guy was talking about his children. I heard this, and he was saying something to the effect that they got on his nerves. Well, if the kid hears that, he's going to find somebody who doesn't get on his nerves. That he doesn't get on their nerves. And maybe somebody that you don't want them to hang out with. And so, tell them that. And the last one then, the first one was by making sure that each family member gets the full what? Attention they need. Second one, by just in your behavior. Now, this is important for you. I know it's not fair, but it's important. You adjust your behavior to fit your spouse or fit your children. Yeah. The third one, by encouraging yourself to be aggressive with, that's important. It is hard to be aggressive with affection when you are hurting. It's hard. I know that. And the last one then is if you want to make your house a true home, and I can't say this anymore. This is not even debatable. By inviting Jesus into your home, but not just simply to visit. Never say Christ is coming to visit us. Christ doesn't want to visit anybody. He wants to stay.